You always think that you're an imposter. I mean, I remember getting into business school and into some of the rooms that I am in today, and I wonder, how I got into this room. As women, we tend to kind of try to be humble and put ourselves down and hope that we would, that someone recognizes all of our strengths. But the reality is that you have to recognize your strengths and tell people your strengths and be proud of them and just do what you do well. I advise startups that address social and environmental challenges. I'm currently working on a startup called OrganJet that is helping to reduce waiting times for the many Americans who are on the waiting list for organ transplants. There's a lot of disparity in waiting times for patients who are waiting for transplants in the US. So if you happen to live in Boston or New York, you may be waiting 5 years for your kidney transplant, whereas if you live in Memphis or Fort Lauderdale, the waiting time might be 3 months. And so what we do is we help patients move around the US to get transplants earlier. Once you get the phone call that there is a match of an organ, you have to be able to get to the operating table within 6 to 8 hours, and you can't fly commercial. We have access to a scheduling company, and once you get that call, we're going to get you to the transplant center. One would think that you would try to move the organ to the patient, but the organs aren't getting moved around the country. They're allocated locally, and so we're moving patients. Somewhat of an imaginative approach, and the exciting thing right now that's going on is we're trying to get insurance companies to cover this. So this is not just a service for the very wealthy. We think that just because you live in a certain area and just because the waiting time is 5 or 7 years, that you shouldn't have to die in the waiting list. And the reality today is that so many Americans are dying on the waiting list. Sridhar, the CEO, and myself, we entered this because we saw a way to just really kind of do the right thing and save lives. And we do think that we can save 1 or 2 lives a day. When I graduated from college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to learn a skill. And I wanted to somehow translate that skill into something that mattered and really I felt would make the world a better place. So I went to Wall Street and I spent about 4 years learning about finance and capital markets. I quit my job and found myself in northern Vietnam setting up a microfinance program for women, providing loans and savings and training to women that did not have access to capital. And so we served that role of setting up a bank that they could trust, that was going to be there for a long time so they could actually build their business. My vision is connecting investors who care about supporting these type of businesses and also helping entrepreneurs build these businesses and then structuring kind of the marketplaces to connect them. How I got here, I think, has been just jumping into things and not being scared to fail, and realizing that you can just learn so much by failing early, failing often, trying again. I can't tell you how many times in my life that my path has changed by one meeting with one individual who's really just given me an excellent opportunity that I've taken at that moment. And so I think we all have that opportunity every day to just be open to that and realize that there's so many extraordinary opportunities to take advantage of.